unelected, term limitless. The chuds want to tell you there's a deep state, and I'm here to tell you there is a deep state. It's these guys right here. Here's what Republicans realized 20, 30 years ago. It costs a lot more to buy, 20 senators, 40 congressmen. It costs a lot more to do that than to just buy yourself one or two Supreme Court justices. And make no mistake about it, every billionaire in this country has their own Supreme Court justice. And we're just hearing about Harlen Crow because of some investigation. Because these unelected kings will not allow any other branch, any kind of oversight into their little scheme, their little clubhouse. People like Steven Crowder, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these people that say you take out a loan, you pay it back. They all took out PPP loans and never paid back a single dime. And why is that? It's because people like me, working class people like you, we don't have a jet to go take Alito around on for his vacations. No, we can't buy Clarence Thomas' mom an entire neighborhood. The purpose of the Supreme Court was to interpret laws, right? It wasn't supposed to be to make your own laws. It wasn't supposed to come up with some crazy theories like Alito and Thomas do to justify passing laws for your billionaire friends. Denying Obama to choose his own judge, Merrick Garland, was not just to, these ideological reasons they're forcing on us, but it's billions over time of how much that seat makes. Every conservative on this court are either repaying donations or pushing their own ideologies. This is not how the founders set up the judicial branch. It's why they were supposed to have lifetime appointments. So they weren't these crazy right-wingers or these opportunists cashing in on the payday. And I'm here to tell you this does not work anymore. This is not a system that can work in the current environment of this country, in the current distribution of wealth in this country. You have no access to the Supreme Court anymore. You're not going to have your case heard. You're not going to overturn some legislation to help give people rights. Mr. Smith is not going to Washington unless Mr. Smith can fucking jet Alito around on a private jet. Voting rights, women's rights, all these things that were happening in the culture, this cultural moment in the 60s and 70s is dead. And the Supreme Court is very much the vision of Ronald Reagan and the way he was able to make, the working man, the middle class man think that one day Ronald Reagan would make them a millionaire. So they should let the millionaires, the current billionaires, do whatever they want. Because one day that's going to be them. And when that never happened, now you see them scrambling to get everything they can. To take from the generation coming up. Because it was a lie to them. And they're trying to sell that same lie to us. But we don't buy it because we've seen what happens. I've lived through 3, 4 financial crashes? Currently the biggest gap between the ultra wealthy and even the middle class, not even the ultra poor anymore. The gap is like 6,000, 7,000. Your boss makes 6,000 to 7,000 times more than you will ever make. So in this Reaganomics environment, what are we supposed to do? We all supposed to wait for some trickle-down laws that can help us? Some trickle-down benefits that can help us? Biden says the Republicans snatched away hope from all of us.
Thank you very, very much for listening. We're going to get this done, God willing. Thank you.
Mr. President, why did you give millions of borrowers false hope? You've doubted your own authority here in the past.
I didn't give any false hope. The question was whether or not I would do even more than was requested. What I did, I thought was appropriate and was able to be done and would get done. I didn't give borrowers false hope, but the Republicans snatched away the hope that they were given, and it's real hope. Thank you.
Mr. President, when you can...
Donald Trump threw so many executive orders, so many things at everybody all the time, that he was able to squeeze through all these things for billionaires. So why doesn't Biden do that for the middle class? Warp speed this shit, because I'm telling you right now, You cannot bring student loan payments back in an election year and expect to win. Not after a 3-4 year pause. People realize how much they're being screwed over with this interest. It's more than my mortgage. With this insane interest. Not a single person alive would allow a kid to take out $120,000 to buy a Lamborghini. And even if that kid wrecked that Lamborghini, he could claim bankruptcy and have it off his record. Not one person would ever do that. So we shouldn't expect the predatory government to lock a kid into a loan for $120,000 when he's 18 years old. When he's 18 years old, just to get an education. That's just the common sense of student loans. Here we go. What is it? Promise to vote for me again? Promise to vote for me again and I'll do it? Democrats, Biden, you guys have to prepare 6 to 10 to 20 different routes to go, all in rapid fire. The Republicans have an endless stream of billionaire money, billionaire resources. Figure this shit out in advance. I'm not going to wait another year for this. I'm going to start paying in October. This is election suicide. And the second thing you absolutely can't do, and I'm just saying this to keep Democrats reelected, maybe get the Senate back, maybe we can start fixing some shit. You cannot tie student loan relief to any kind of racial, any kind of sexuality nonsense. Crazy to think about, but there are still white straight males like myself in the party who fundraise, who go out and push the Democratic Party. Granted, I'm more left than the Democratic Party is, but at this point, it's all we have. So if you try to divide the working class, the middle class, with some kind of culture war bullshit, instead of just doing everybody, I'm telling you you can say goodbye to 2024. And I'm not being hyperbolic. It seems like AOC is more on top of this than all of you. Get her in there. Get her doing it. The Supreme Court is telling all of you. They're telling all of you that when millionaires, when senators, when congressmen, when billionaires, when they all need a loan, this government's there for them. It's going to pick them up. It's going to make sure that they don't lose $1 million. Keep them multi-millionaires. But when someone like me, from a small coal mining community, gets out, goes to school, has to take a loan to go to school, it's not there for us. It's not there for me. Then it's bootstrap time for me. Because I don't have $1 million to lose. I don't have a jet for fucking Alito to get drunk on. And I don't have a house for Clarence Thomas's big ass mama to live in. I have an education. And I have a story. Not mining coal. And the tax on that story should be along the lines of the American dream. Not some kind of 6% slavery to lock someone into with interest. Don't play games on this one, Democrats. This is important. This is one you need to win. It doesn't have the flair of a culture war. It's times like this I still wish we had that Obama team. They knew how to roll out. They knew how to be prepared for what the Republicans would do. I mean, Joe's 100 years old, but there's got to be someone around him that said, hey, this isn't going to happen. We need a backup plan, bud. And if this really isn't a ploy to extend it a year, to fire us up in a year, to vote for Democrats, if his ass really didn't anticipate this, then yeah, he's too old to be in there. He's too old to do the job. It's time to step aside and let in some new, more left, young blood into this party. If I hand this batshit party, if I hand Kevin McCarthy $100 and say, here, hold on to this for me, I'll be right back, he will steal it. We know who these Republicans are. One of the good things, one of the only good things about Trump is he was too goddamn dumb to hide it like the rest of them.
She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite.
Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new here to the channel. The Chud Report.
Some of the same elected Republicans, members of Congress who strongly oppose giving release to students, got hundreds of thousands of dollars themselves in relief, members of Congress, because of the businesses they were able to keep open. Several members of Congress got over $1 million. All those loans were forgiven. You know how much that program cost? $760 billion. My program's too expensive. $360 billion more than I proposed in my student debt relief program.